Is Tristan Thompson expecting baby number 3? And it's not by Khloe Kardashian. And it looks like Bone Thugz Harmoney really got the Verzuz Battle confused and turned it into a real battle. And are the girls after Tyra Banks again? Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So guys, this is just a round table of hot topics that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about, and some of them just literally happened. But before we get into that, I did want to say rest in peace to Jacqueline Avant, the wife to music executive Clarence Avant, who was killed in her own home during a home invasion. Right now, police are saying that they do have a suspect arrested. We're going to continue to follow this story, but definitely want to send prayers to the Avant family. In other news, Bone Thugz Harmoney versus 3 6 Mafia happened this week, and it turned into an actual physical battle between Busy Bone and another member of 3 6 Mafia. I'm sure by now you've seen all of the videos. I wasn't even watching the Verzuz because at this point I didn't realize Verzuz was still happening. I know that I say that every time there's a Verzuz battle. It's still happening? Well, Swiss Beats has some words for Bone Thugz Harmoney because, and this is the part that you guys do not even realize that happens behind the scenes, but when you're Swiss Beats, you can publicly say it. Some of these artists are horrendous behind the scenes. And apparently, Bone Thugz Harmoney thinks that this is the 90s, because according to Swiss Beats, they had a lot of expectations for this Verzuz battle. So this is what Swiss Beats posted on socials. His first message was this: new rule, if you don't start on time, you don't get paid on time. Verzuz is not free. They charge us 5 times they do black shows. Then he went on to say, talking about we not getting on stage until my homie called from Rikers to do the prayer. The call from Rikers Island, y'all, a jail. Just in case you didn't know. He then goes on. Swiss Beats wasn't done. Swiss Beats was through. He was just through with everybody involved. He says, ain't did a show in 23 summers. Can we put that in a song lyric? Somebody, please. Swiss Beats says, ain't did a show in 23 summers and want to charge us like the sold out stadium prices. Talk about yesterday's price is not today price-ish. He ain't done. Swiss Beats continues. Coming on stage after getting paid 10 shows in one Verzuz just to get on stage drunk AF and late. I'm just saying, okay, let me watch the show now. Swiss Beats was through. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys don't see another Verzuz battle because he's just through with these people. Honestly, this is why there are certain artists that no matter how talented you are, the reason why you don't hear or see from them anymore, it's not because people have screwed them over. It's because they've screwed themselves. Either bad behavior, bad teams. That is usually the key ingredient. Either way, Busy Bone did issue an apology at the end of Verzuz from what we hear, because I didn't watch it. I only saw the fight, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I guess we probably won't hear from Bone Thugz Harmoney for a while now. Moving on. Speaking of hot messes, Tristan Thompson, as you know, the alleged womanizer. That's the words that the news are calling him. I guess it makes sense if the label fits. Tristan Thompson, as you know, oh my gosh, estranged boyfriend of Khloe Kardashian. I don't know where they are in their relationship. Last I heard, they broke up. Who knows? They could still be together. But Khloe Kardashian has put up with a lot when it comes to Tristan Thompson. But that is her choice. I do not feel sorry for Khloe Kardashian, because as they say, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. Well, now a woman is suing Tristan Thompson for child support before the baby's even born. Marilee Nichols claims she's due to give birth to a baby boy today, December 3rd, according to a new docs obtained by the Daily Mail. Nichols says the baby was conceived in Houston back in March, around the time Tristan was in town to celebrate his 30th birthday. The Daily Mail reports Thompson admits to having sex with Nichols several times at the hotel, and previous to meeting up, she had promised him a, quote, birthday surprise, which he knew meant birthday sex. So if this woman's timeline is correct, Tristan was still publicly with Khloe Kardashian at the time of him hooking up with Nichols. But they're saying the only thing that's up for debate is for how long the fling lasted. Tristan reportedly says it was only a one-night stand, but Nichols says that the two had been together off and on for around 5 months prior to the March hookup. I mean, at this point, you can get pregnant one time too, Tristan. All we need is a DNA test at this point. But we shall see. This will be Tristan Thompson's third baby, 30th time cheating on Khloe Kardashian, allegedly. But who knows? Is this perfect timing to set them up for their new Hulu show? There's just so much Kardashian drama, and I know part of you like, we don't care. But I have to report on it, especially when we've followed this whole Tristan saga for forever at this point. And this is just another ploy of the Kardashians to get our attention off of Travis Scott and the whole Astroworld Festival. No, because we can chew gum and walk at the same time. It will be interesting to see if we get to hear Tristan and his interesting voice on the new show, Keeping Up with the Jenners, Keeping Up with the Kardashians Part 2. Who knows what they're going to call it. But I know we're going to see some of this play out on the show. And I know part of you, I'm not interested. But just wanted to give you a quick update. Tristan is expecting baby number 3. Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks is back in the news. And as you know, the last story that we heard in regards to Tyra and people accusing her of bad behavior on America's Next Top Model, when people started criticizing Tyra for old footage from America's Next Top Model. Remember the model that had the gap and she was like, I'm not going to close my gap for this show? And a lot of people were criticizing Tyra for that. Well, now another former contestant is coming out saying that they only got paid $38 a day, no residuals, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's get into what she's saying. So Sarah Hartshorn is revealing in a tweet, this was a few days ago, that they only got paid $40 a day, no residuals, and we had to pay for our food. Sarah was a plus-size model on cycle 9 of America's Next Top Model, and she says this to the Post: we were given $38 a day. $2 is a big difference, y'all. Was it 38 or 40? This is her statement to the Post. She says, we were given $38 a day stipend that we had to use to pay for our own food. She even went on to say that they didn't even give us a microwave to heat up the food. So it's being reporting, according to Forbes, that Tyra Banks earned a whopping $30 million during a 12-month period as creator and host of the CW competition. And some of you are hashtagging surviving Tyra Banks now on social media. I don't know if it's that deep, y'all, because let's not, because we're talking about apples and oranges when we're talking about R. Kelly versus Tyra Banks. And look, I didn't even realize that they even got any sort of pay. It's a competition. The big payday is supposed to be, the whole, competition, the contract. That is supposed to be the big payday. Even though a lot of models formerly of America's Next Top Model says it's not realistic. You don't really are able to have a real modeling career after America's Next Top Model, which I don't believe is true. We have seen some of these ladies come from America's Next Top Model and do really well. Yaya DaCosta, Winnie Harlow. Here's the thing. I can see both sides of this. Residuals, girl, residuals for what? You're not a producer of the show. We don't even remember who you are. If it was Eva the Diva, then I'm like, she deserves residuals because we remember Eva. But Eva also has come out in defense of Tyra Banks in the past as well. So, but here's the thing. Tyra, I don't even care about the $38 or $48 a day. Food, that's a basic human right. I know that the judges and you and production, you all had craft services. And I don't know if they didn't have craft services, but according to this woman, they had to buy their own food. Even though $40 a day, and if was this filmed in New York? I can't remember where it was filmed. But here in New York, $40 a day for food isn't bad. It would cover it. Honestly, it would cover it. Not having a microwave. I know there are some people that are reading this and they're probably like, or watching me talk about this, saying to them, boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I wish I was getting paid for food. From what we hear, they did, of course, the show did provide accommodations in regards to stay. Here's the thing, though. They could have given them food. That $40 a day, I'm sure that is probably like a standard, a legality that they had to pay them something in order them to be legal and not like, okay, this is slave labor. However, I just don't understand why they couldn't give them craft services. They do that for every other situation, every movie or whatnot. And I'm sure they had craft services for the show, for the producers, for production, for the crew. Why wouldn't you have craft services for the ladies? However, I don't agree that we need a surviving Tyra Banks. Tyra, in the past, has responded to criticism. And look, this is the past. I understand that we are now this woke society looking back at old footage and judging people based off of things that then were acceptable when they probably shouldn't have been. But Tyra was like, you know what? I don't want the smoke. I'm going to release a statement and say this. She said this back in 2020, May 8th of 2020, in regards to some of the backlash she was receiving then from some old footage that came up. She said, been seeing the posts about the insensitivity of some past ANTM moments, and I agree with you. Looking back, those were some really off choices. Appreciate your honest feedback, and I'm sending so much love and virtual hugs. We also have to remember, Tyra came from an era where people have said probably some off-the-wall things to her in the fashion industry. So I'm sure on some level, even though her intention was to break down those walls of what she's seen in the modeling industry, so to be criticized for being just as bad as them, I'm sure it has to be like, that was never my intention. I really was trying to give a lot of different women that probably normally wouldn't get opportunities in the modeling industry an opportunity. But at the same time, desensitizing herself to, well, that isn't moving forward. But I'm sure if she was to do America's Next Top Model today, which they have been doing, I don't know if they've been renewed to come back. You learn, you grow, you evolve. You apologize for the mistakes that you've made, but you've made them already. You can't change that you made them. But as I said to you before, there are a lot of people that are fake woke, that are, oh my God, you should have never said that. Yeah, but back then, would you have said what you're saying today? It was wrong back then, but no one said anything until now. Either way, Tyra knows and understands the world that we're in right now in regards to problematic behavior from the past resurfacing. She says, I'm not going to even argue with you on this one. I'm going to apologize, and hopefully we can move on until the next drama. And this next drama has arrived. $40 a day. Look, I agree. They could have paid her more, especially when Tyra made $30 million in a 12-month period. But at the very least, hotel accommodations, which from what we hear, they were provided. But craft services, come on, guys. Come on. Either way, no one's going to ever truly be happy, especially if they didn't win. But even some former winners have come out and said, this didn't do anything for my career. Well, Tyra can only give you the platform. What are you going to do with it? And the perfect example of taking that platform and running with it has been Yaya DaCosta. She's still booked and busy. She's not modeling as much anymore, but she is booked and busy. She used the platform and has elevated herself and worked her butt off to do other things. You can blame Tyra all you want, but sometimes you got to take that mirror and take a look at yourself. As always, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you think Tyra is wrong? Do you think there should be a surviving Tyra Banks? The drama. What are your thoughts on this fake woke movement, this cancel culture movement? Is anyone truly ever canceled, though? Anyways, let's continue the conversation, guys. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.